Hey guys, Merrick here with a Movement Real Estate report for April 2021. So I kind of wanted to take a second and jump in and do something a little bit different than we normally do in the Movement report. I wanted to kind of show what's happening all over the greater Vancouver and Fraser Valley. So what I'll do is I'll go through it quickly and then I'll recap in more detail. So if you want to jump off the video then, totally fine. So let's get to the good stuff right away. So we've got the Movement report. If you guys remember what we were doing last month, we were close to 400 sales for a February, which was the highest on record. Now fast forwarding to this month here in March, these numbers are all from March for April. So March they had 508 sales in Abbotsford, all property types. I had to change the graph to accommodate the higher number. So really striking numbers, 508 sales. Not gonna go too much into detail into Abbotsford. It's up 113%. That was the most transactions in a month that we've ever had on record. So let's talk about what's happening. Is it COVID related? Maybe. I just think it's an interesting, made an interesting graph for you guys to look at that kind of helps visualize really the year over year. So this is year over year residential detached homes in the greater Vancouver, Fraser Valley area. So looking at this graph, you can see Vancouver, Burnaby, Richmond, they've gone up, a fair amount, not more than 15%. You've got the North Shore with North and West Vancouver, they've gone up less than 20%. And then you can see there's a group of, Tsawwassen, Delta, White Rock, Surrey, Port Moody is there, you can't see the name. And then Coquitlam, they've all gone up less than 25%, less than 23%, whatever it is. So let's go to the next graph here. Let's make it a little bit easier. You can see how the exodus from Vancouver is happening. People, in my opinion, are pushing out of Vancouver, out of Coquitlam area, and they're wanting more space. So as we drift more inland away from Vancouver, you're going to see the prices going up. And this is, again, percentage price of increase for a residential detached home in BC year over year. This is March 2020 to March 2021. So these are the numbers. They're all HPI numbers with the exception of Chilliwack. So Chilliwack's number is literally the median sales of that month to the median sales of this month. So it is the least accurate number. It says it's 46% year over year increase. On the month it was, we could probably expect that to be just over 30% if they had HPI. So if you understand what HPI is, they take out the top and the bottom, they do the median of the middle. It's a really accurate number for gauging the market. Unfortunately, Chilliwack doesn't do that, so we can't, they're their own board, so we can't gauge the HPI price in Chilliwack. So month to month, March 2020 to 2021, they're actually up 46% year over year, which is disgusting. Mission being up 31% is insane. Abbotsford is up 29%, also insane. Even Langley, the city of Langley, the Township of Langley, around 25% increase is insane. Pitt Medows, Maple Ridge, it's just really, the jump is staggering. It's hard really to imagine how much that is. If you had an $800,000 house in Abbotsford last year, that house is now worth $1,063,000. Like, it's jumped up that much. So what does this mean? I think we're seeing a huge push out of Vancouver as far as people buying houses. I'm going to now go into detail on the individual areas and apartments and townhomes in every area. So you can watch and follow along and see, what's at an all-time high, what's not. We're getting a lot of all-time highs for prices in the East Valley, but we're not seeing that in Vancouver and New West as much. So let's take a look at the individual pricing for everything and what's going on. I'll talk about it as I go. If you want to jump forward to the closing comments, that's fine. If you don't want to watch specifically as we go through, but if you are an owner in the Greater Vancouver or the Fraser Valley, let's go into it. Let's take a look. All right, starting with West Vancouver. So there average home, so dat is detached. We've got apartments and townhouses in that order. Not enough townhouses to make a video for that, so we're just going to ignore it. But we're up 18% and apartments are up 11%. So apartments still increasing, not as much as homes. I think their all-time high was like 3.4 million, so we're not at an all-time high in West Van. Going over to North Vancouver, you can see the average home is 1.8 million, apartments at 600, and townhouses, which is an all-time high at 1 million right now. So in 2020, there's the prices. So we're up 20%, 5%, and 9% respectively in North Vancouver. Jumping down to Vancouver, 2.4 million for a home, 800,000 for an apartment, and we're at 1.1 for a townhouse. You notice that there's no highs there. So they're not at an all-time high in any of their pricing in Vancouver. So it could go up more there. We'll see what happens. 2020, this is what it was a year ago. So Vancouver is up 12% on homes, only 1.8% on apartments, and 6.0% on townhouses. Now apartments only going up 1.8% is that's low. Soft market there for sure, because you got to understand the amount of money that's on the market, the lower pricing, you'd want to see that a little higher. So apartments seem to be a little bit suppressed in Vancouver. Moving on to Burnaby, 1.6 for a house. All-time high for the house in Burnaby right now. The houses prices have never been that high. They are up 12%, 12.9% in Burnaby. Apartments only up 2%, and townhouses only up 6.7%. Again, people wanting more space, exodus from apartments in Vancouver. Coquitlam, we're looking at $1.4 million all-time high, 560,000 all-time high, 757 all-time high. So, I mean, we're up 20% on homes, 6% on apartments, and 12% or 11% on townhomes. So very, very high, all-time highs, excuse me, in Coquitlam. Port Moody, we are at an all-time high for houses, 1.7. So that's up a massive 22.5%. Apartments up 3%, and townhouses up 6.9%. So if you had bought into a house in Port Moody, that would have been a great buy last year. Jumping down to Richmond, 1.7 to buy a house. Apartments all-time high for price, just under 700,000, and 864 for townhouses. And we're up 14% in Richmond on houses, 6% on apartments, and townhouses are up 9.5%. Delta, 1.1, all-time high for homes. This is North Delta. I'm going to talk about Tsawwassen separately. 400 for apartments, and townhouses are 613. We're up 21% in North Delta for homes, 2% for apartments, and 9.12% for townhouses. Surrey, 1.2 million to buy a home, all-time high. That's the HPI price for all of Surrey. 456 for an apartment, not an all-time high, and 638, not an all-time high. So interesting to see what's going to go on there. 22% on houses, 6% on apartments, and 12% on townhomes. Jumping down to Tsawwassen, right at the border, a little bedroom community, beautiful place to live if you know it. 1.3 million to buy a house, all-time high, 588 for an apartment, and 662 for a townhouse. That's up 21% from 2020 for a house, 10% for an apartment, and 7.6% for townhouses. White Rock, 1.3 million, all-time high. Never been that high in White Rock for the average home. 468,000 for apartments and 609 for townhouses. Not all-time high. So we're up 20% in White Rock for homes, 8.9% and 11.6%. All right, moving on. We're in Pitt Medows now, right top middle here. So we are 1.1 million for houses, all-time high. Apartments, all-time high, and townhouses, all-time high. So 27% increase for houses, 10% for apartments, and 10% for townhomes. Pitt Meadows is just going crazy. People keep pushing out of Coquitlam, Burnaby, and Vancouver in there. Those prices are just jumping right now. Same thing with Maple Ridge, all-time high, 1 million, just over $1 million for your detached home in Maple Ridge. Apartments and townhomes, also all-time high. 25% increase for Maple Ridge for homes, 12 and 18 respectively. So huge increase in Maple Ridge. Jumping to Langley City. So City of Langley, not the township. We'll get to the township after. So the City of Langley, just the little center core of Langley, you're at 1.1 million for a home, 447 for an apartment, and 580 for a townhouse, all-time highs. Looking at, so you're up 26% in the City of Langley, 8% on apartments, and 7.7% on townhomes in the city. Now going to the township, 1.2. So this is going to be your Willoughby, your Brookswood, all that kind of stuff. So it's the surrounding area. I cannot wait till they make one municipality. It'll make my job easier. So 1.2 for houses, all-time high, 4.3 all-time high, and a 635 for townhouses, all-time high. So Langley is up 24%, 7.7%, and 13% respectively. So Langley is jumping as well. Moving over into the Valley more, we're looking at Mission right now. Mission all-time high, 887. So you're still under $1 million in Mission. Maybe a good place to start focusing in on if you feel like you're getting bought out of the market. You can work remotely. Mission's a really nice growing community. So 389 for apartments and 503 for townhomes, all-time highs. I mean, we're up 31% in Mission year over year. Last year, you could have bought a house for $676, which seems impossible now. They're up 13% in all apartments, and they're up 10% on townhomes. So Mission has absolutely jumped. Abbotsford, over $1 million now for the HPI price on detached homes. All-time high for prices right now in Abbotsford. Apartments, not at an all-time high, so we're $354 for apartments. Probably going to see that number starting to come up. I think apartments are a little undervalued right now in Abbotsford. Townhomes are at $515, all-time high. Townhomes have never been this high in Abbotsford. So if you looked at last year's numbers, Abbotsford's homes are up 29%, their apartments are up 10%, and their townhomes are up 12%. I still think there's room here. Now take this with a grain of salt. This is Chilliwack's numbers, and again, let me reiterate, it is not HPI, it is month-to-month median sales. So it's just whatever happened to have sold that month to whatever happened to have sold this month. But we're talking, they had 20 sales or over 20 sales. Was it? No, it was 50, sorry, it was 52 sales last March. And this March, they're over 100. So it's good numbers to look at, but it's not perfect. So Chilliwack, 820 for a home, 289 for a apartment, both all-time highs, and 528 for a townhome. Yes, it is literally more expensive to live in a townhome in Chilliwack than it is Abbotsford or Mission. Who would have thunk it? Anyways, they are up 46%, 51%, and 21%. 51% on apartments in Chilliwack. 51%. If you had bought an apartment in Chilliwack last year, the value has gone up 51%. Insane. Like, mind-numbingly insane. Also, townhouses being up 21% is insane. I think townhouses might be a little overpriced, but that's what's selling and that's what they're priced at. So those are the numbers. Take a look at it again. You can see Vancouver, Burnaby, Richmond, a little bit of growth. I mean, that's really, I think, related to cheap money. People being able to buy more, so there's a bit more competition, so prices are getting pushed up. West Vancouver, North Vancouver, under 20% growth. And then from Tawasin, Delta, White Rock, Surrey, Port Moody, and Coquitlam, you're seeing around the 20% to 22.5% range of increase. Pitt Medows, Maple Ridge, Langley, City of Langley, and the Township of Langley, all sitting around just under 25% to just under 28% growth. And then Abbotsford, Mission, and Chilliwack all over 29% and up. So you're seeing the most amount of price increase in Abbotsford, Mission, and Chilliwack. Again, people pushing out from Vancouver. They're wanting more space. They're working remotely. It's never been a better time to own a house if you have a dog, because you maybe can't go to the park or you can't do this or that with the kids. So you need to play them in the back. They got to play in the backyard. It's never been more important to own your own space, and I really see that happening here. It'll be interesting to see what happens after COVID, post-COVID, and how these numbers change. But I think the more the world gets to remote working, the less we will see a demand in the center of the cities, and we'll see more of a demand in the suburban areas. So yeah, anyways, those are my thoughts. I don't like getting into predicting the market because it's so unpredictable. We're not in the business of trying to get you to buy or sell. We're in the business of servicing your decision. So if you do want to buy or sell, use us, that's great. But we're not here to convince you to do business. We're just trying to show you the numbers as best we can so you can make the most informed decision that you want to make, what's best for your family. So that's what we're here to do. That's what we try to do. Again, my name is Merrick with Movement Real Estate Group. I'm out of Abbotsford, but I serve the whole Fraser Valley. We've done deals all the way. We like to try to stay east of the Fraser River, but we have done deals on the other side. Heck, I've done a deal last month up in Kelowna. So if you have any questions about anything specific, or you want me to go into more detail about a certain area, maybe I left it out, give me a buzz. I'm happy to help. And until next time, this is again Merrick, Movement Real Estate Group. Good luck.